A magical remedy for obesity treatment doesn't exist at the moment. Sometimes the strong will and exercising can help, but most of the clients struggle with never-ending so-called weight cycling effect for years. They lose weight, but later they put it on again. The doctors warn that most people have fat overgrowth in their body for their whole life. It's also known that the obesity-accompanying diseases reduce the quality of life and threaten our health. Fortunately, there are effective obesity treatments. For me, it was a miracle. I can say that at the age of 56, I was born again.
I used to weigh 138 kilos, now I'm only 96, and my husband was 238 kilos and now he is only 98.
s.r.o Klinika in Prague is a modern medical center with highly qualified staff who provide obesity treatment for overweight patients. They can help to lose even up to 100 kilo.
When a client comes to OB Clinic, we first must choose a suitable treatment. With some patients, we continue in a conservative way, which is complemented with dietary changes, exercise and lifestyle counseling. However, most clients are interested in bariatric surgery.
There are several possibilities of how to treat obesity in a surgical way. Some of the surgical procedures reduce the stomach size, its capacity and its ability to contain a certain amount of food intake. This means that the patient can eat a small amount of food without starving. Another option is a procedure limiting absorption of nutrients. This procedure helps patient lose weight by decreasing the amount of nutrition the body is able to absorb from the intestinal tract. This is accomplished by bypassing a portion of the small intestine so that it can't access digested food, decreasing the calories the body can use. I would like to recommend this kind of procedure to all the other patients who are overweight. It is not necessary to be worried. It had no consequences, and also the 14 days post-operation watery diet wasn't so hard. I was supposed to drink different liquids, soups and mixed yogurts.
The part of the stomach which our patient actively uses after the treatment is not much bigger than a golf ball. I'm showing this to demonstrate how little area within the full size of the stomach is used, and that the active part is the upper part of the stomach where the digestion occurs. When that small elastic ball, which is able to enlarge a little bit and shrink back to its normal size, is filled by food, it immediately sends this signal to the brain: I ate enough. That's why the patient feels full from a very small amount of food. So here we can see a sample portion for patients after bariatric surgery. This is exactly the 150 milliliters which is allowed to eat. Usually we put the food into the measuring cups here, so our patients can see how it looks like. The composition of the food is up to the client, whatever he likes and what he prefers, but it always has to be that amount of 150 milliliters.
Jan Mikulášek from Kolín had a very good experience with the bariatric procedure, dietary changes and subsequent weight loss. He feels very satisfied after undergoing the gastric plication. I underwent the gastric plication. I came to s.r.o Klinika at 7 AM and at 9 AM the procedure started, and already the next day I could go home. That's awesome. I had no pains, nothing, just a little bit of a sensitive belly. I had a 14-day watery diet and also no problems. Next, a 14-day mushy food diet, and since that time I've been eating 150 milliliters of food 3 times per day. I don't feel hungry, I work normally and I feel fit. Mrs. Denka and Mr. Vlastimir Lukáš from Temelín lost an unbelievable 175 kilograms together. The obesity was destroying their private and professional life for years.
Everything was quite complicated, moving around, sitting, getting dressed, all the time at a seamstress, because you cannot find anything at this size in the shop. This was his wedding chemise 4 years ago. His waist was 180 centimeters.
Mrs. and Mr. Lukáš were rescued by the gastric band procedure. Since that time, Mrs. Denka doesn't have to sew clothes size XXXL for her husband. 25 years old Mrs. Kristina from Prague chose a completely natural method of weight loss at s.r.o Klinika. Within only 1 year, she lost 41 kilograms from her weight 102.
This is 102 kilos before. Today, 1 trouser's leg is enough. It's a big change for me and it's 100,000% better. I feel great.
Mrs. Lenka and Mr. Petr Cajhon from Roudnice nad Labem lost an extreme amount of weight, also with surgical procedures and under the expert supervision.
I was almost 100 kilos, 96 exactly, and I lost 20.
I lost about 55 kilos. My previous weight was 167. According to doctors, even after a successful weight reduction, the patients shouldn't forget that movement is an important key to maintain stable weight. Walking, swimming, dancing, different kind of exercises help to shape our body according to our ideas.
The great profit after the surgical procedure is that we have started the patient's weight reduction. What happens then? In most cases, they are improved or cured some diseases and in general the health gets better. It means that patients not only feel better without joint aches, but also they will use less medicaments as usual. Ideally, patients with diabetes won't need insulin anymore. Many patients can start to do sports, they will find new job, new partners or new friends. They will be able to enjoy life better than before when their weight was bothering them.